Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Uncaved. I am your host, Shane. I've heard a lot of questions. What is Man Uncaved? What is come out of hiding? So I thought today, let's talk a little bit about where this actually came from and the ideas behind it. So today we're going to dive into a powerful topic, why men need to come out of hiding. And it's time to step out of the man cave and into something more real, more vulnerable, and actually ultimately more authentic. So we've all heard about the so-called man cave. You know, that metaphorical and sometimes literal space where men retreat, where men escape and disconnect. But today we're actually asking why men find themselves there so often, and more importantly, why it's time to come out of hiding. So that man cave is more than just a room. It's this symbol of retreat. It's a place where we hide from the world, from our responsibilities, and sometimes from our emotions. Now, it isn't just about having a space to relax after a hard day or to enjoy some solitude. Those things are fine. I truly believe having a place to recharge, reflect after a long day, long week, long month. I think that's ultimately really important. But we're talking about that deeper, more insidious parts of this man cave mentality. It's where we hide our vulnerabilities, our insecurities, and our fears. It's where we sometimes lock up our emotions, avoiding the real stuff we don't want to face. It's the place within ourselves we carry great shame. You see, shame thrives in secrecy. It's about hiding parts of ourselves, so we keep it hidden. Now, as a result, we can tend to pull back. We cover up and we can shut others out. And that's where the danger lies. Because when we're constantly hiding, we're cutting ourselves off from the very things that help us grow as men. Things like connection, vulnerability, and yes, intimacy with other people and even ourselves. You know, there's this idea that men should be tough, always have their shit together, never show weakness, and be this stoic pillar of strength. But the reality is, we're human, and hiding who we are, our emotions, or even the fears that creep in only makes things harder in the long run. You know, it's easier to feel like you need to be the superhero, this invincible force, but that's not real life. Hiding from your emotions, from your struggles, or from people who care about you, especially other men, doesn't make you stronger. It actually isolates you. It can make you feel like you're the only one dealing with it. And that only builds more walls between you and the world. Here's something I think a lot of guys don't realize. The man cave isn't just a metaphor for avoiding people. It's a place where men hide from each other. It's an ongoing cycle where we think, if I don't show weakness, I'll be seen as strong. Or I don't want to be judged if I talk about my struggles. Now, the truth is, most men feel the same way. They're just afraid to admit it. And in truth, I am afraid at times to admit it. And the only way that I have known how to work with that fear is to come out of hiding. And here's another real truth. When we do not open up to each other, and that's where things get tough. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that no one else feels like you do, that your fears and your vulnerabilities and your sadness are uniquely yours. But that's not the case. When you come out of hiding and let other men in, you're often surprised by how much in common you actually share. And that shared experience is one of the most powerful ways to build connection. See, it's not about talking about your feelings all the times. though that can be helpful too. It's about breaking free from the idea that you need to always be in control, that you have to hide your true self to fit into some narrow definition of masculinity. And that's why coming out of hiding isn't just important for your mental health, it's important for your relationships. Because intimacy isn't just something that happens in romantic relationships, it happens between friends too. It happens when you trust others enough to share your struggles and fears. Men, we don't have to wear this mask of I got my shit together. We don't need to hide from each other or from our own vulnerabilities. When we start showing up as our true selves, flaws and all, we create stronger and actually more meaningful connections. We can embrace our imperfections and share them with each other. And I will speak to the grave. I am perfectly imperfect. I still have temper tantrums. I can still act out of character at times. And I share those with my fellow brothers. And they say, me too. Now let's face it, life is hard. And the more we can bottle up inside, the harder life actually gets. You might feel like you're handling things on your own, but you're really just burying everything underneath the surface. And that will take its toll. So the call to action here, guys, is to uncave yourself. Start small. Reach out to a friend that you trust, you have rapport with, you have safety with. Share something personal that's been on your mind and just see what happens. You might actually be surprised by how freeing it is. When you let yourself be seen for who you really are, emotions, flaws, fears, and all, you might just open the door to a life that feels a whole lot more real, more connected, and more fulfilling. And that's what we all want, right? To be seen, to be heard. So let's make it a challenge for ourselves and for other men listening today. Let's come out of hiding. Let's show up, be real with ourselves and with each other, and start building the kind of connection that actually help us thrive. It's time to leave the man cave behind, guys. It's time to embrace our vulnerability. It's time to build true connection. And most importantly, it's time to be human. I hope you really enjoyed this episode of Man Uncaved. As always, I am Shane. If you enjoyed this episode, please share it. There might be other men out there that just need to hear us. And if you enjoyed this and something landed for you, please leave a review. I love hearing and reading your feedback. Again, this is Man Uncaved. We need to come out of hiding.